Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books, and today I am here with my Nonfiction November TBR, which is overwhelming. It is too huge. There's no way I can accomplish this TBR. So I don't know. I don't even know how I'm going to do this. But I'm going to start talking about the books that are on this huge TBR. And I think I'm going to try to go in the order in which I plan on tackling these. So the ones that I'm going to talk first are the ones that I'm most likely to pick up in November. And then obviously towards the end, the ones that I'm least likely to pick up in November. These are all books that I'm really excited about though. Books that I want to read. And that I'm just, I'm in the middle of my fall semester of teaching, so, oh hi, hi everyone, meet Lincoln if you haven't seen him before, and that's Lady over there. So yeah, so I'm in the middle of teaching. It becomes harder to kind of read. So the first book that I know for sure I will be reading is the Turnaway study. In fact, I might get to this one at the very beginning of November, right in time for Nonfiction November. This is the 10 years, 1,000 Women and the Consequences of Having or Being Denied an Abortion by Diana Greene Foster. So this is all on the research done on people who either received or were denied abortions. This is my area of expertise. This is what I wrote my dissertation on. So I have to get to this book. Next up on my reading list, I'm reaching towards my little reading card, is Before Trans, 3 Gender Stories from 19th Century France by Rachel Mesch. I've attended a few talks where Dr. Mesch has talked about the research in this book, and it's just so interesting. She followed these 3 writers who at the time didn't have the vocabulary, but today might have called themselves non-binary or queer or something, just that, you know, it's something within the queer category. But because those categories or that language did not exist during their time in the 19th century, they were just seen as kind of odd personalities. And I really need to get to this book. It sounds really good. The research is amazing, and everything I've heard about it kind of just reinforces that. A book kind of along a similar category of these two is Ask Me About My Uterus, a quest to make doctors believe in women's pain by Abby Norman. I think that this one's a popular nonfiction book, so this one should be a little bit easier, faster to get through, and this is one that I'm just generally interested in. Next up is Sex, Love, and Letters by Judith Coffin. So this is a kind of examination of the letters that people wrote to Simone de Beauvoir. And Coffin is a historian that I've interacted with in the past because her research was close enough to mine that whenever I talked to anybody about my dissertation topic, they told me I needed to talk to Judy. I got to talk to her a few times over email, but not in any kind of meaningful way. I'm still really interested in this research, however. Okay, now is where it gets a little murky about the order of things. So I'm just going to talk about a few books. The first book is one that I just ordered. This is A Most Dangerous Book, Tacitus' Germania, from the Roman Empire to the Third Reich. I'm particularly interested in the parts about the Third Reich and how the Third Reich appropriated ancient history. So in this case, the Roman Empire, I know that in particular they tried to appropriate Sparta as their kind of Greek civilization that they tried to emulate themselves after. I used to teach a class on the connections between the modern world and classical civilizations. I don't know if I'll ever teach that course again, but I'm still interested in this topic. Next is this gorgeous cover. I love yellow, and this is Hearing Happiness, Deafness Cures in History by Jaipreet Virdi. This is a historian that I've been following on on Twitter for a long time. She's a huge advocate for disability rights, and I've been hearing really amazing things about her work in this book, so I really want to get to it as well. Let's see. Oh, this is a huge one that I'm thinking about maybe listening to an audiobook. The Warmth of Other Suns, The Epic Story of America's Great Migration by Isabel Wilkerson. I've heard really amazing things, and then Dee over at Brown Girl Reading talked about it a few times, and she's the one that really convinced me that I needed to read this book. The author also has a recent book cast. Depending on how I do with this one, I might pick that one up as well, but these are all like chunkers, which is why I'm thinking it might be better tackled in audiobook. Okay, a few more things on a reproductive rights history, which again is my area of specialty. This is Life Stages and Native Women, Memory Teaching and Story Medicine by Kim Anderson. One of the things that I've been particularly interested in recently is the way in which we teach reproductive history and the way in which that Native practices have been ignored in the way we teach our reproductive history, and this is something that might point me in a better direction. Oh, this is a fantastic book as well. Public City, Public Sex, Homosexuality, Prostitution, and Urban Culture in 19th Century Paris by Andrew Israel Ross. So I had an opportunity to listen to Ross give a talk at a history conference. It was amazing. His work sounds incredible, and this has it actually won awards? Anyways, it's been kind of celebrated all over the field of history. Another one on reproductive rights is Birth Control and the Rights of Women, Post-Suffrage Feminism in the Early 20th Century by Claire Debenham. So this is another one that comes highly recommended. This is kind of a little bit older at this point, I believe, but still one I'm very interested in. And then to a different part of the world, Miscarriage of Justice, Women's Reproductive Lives and the Law in Early 20th Century Brazil. I really want to see what was happening in Brazil and how we might be able to connect it to other parts of the world, particularly the US and the Caribbean. Do I go on? I have more to talk about. Oh, why not? Let's just go on and talk about a few more that I have here. This is Body and Soul, the Black Panther Party and the Fight Against Medical Discrimination by Alondra Nelson. So again, highly recommended by historian friends of mine, and it's on a topic that I am extremely interested in. Okay. Is that all I'll be able to get to? Okay, for sure I will not be able to get to all of these, so I should probably stop here, because if these are not already on the radar, the rest are definitely not going to get read. I have a bunch of books on 1968 and a couple of other books that I hauled in recent videos, and I'm just like, they might make it into the TBR. Oh, I don't know. I really need to sit down and narrow this a little bit more. I know for sure, the Turnaway study, Before Trans, and Sex, Love, and Letters. After that, Ask Me About My Uterus and Hearing Happiness. So those are for sure at the top of my list. I know I can get to those. You will see those in a wrap-up. I'm notoriously terrible at TBRs, but these are some of my options at least. I could go on forever. So if you're new to my channel, I am a professor of history. My dissertation is on the French abortion movement of the 1970s, 60s, and 70s, and the way in which individuals transformed feminist organizations, and then the way feminist organizations crafted a message that eventually led to the legalization of abortion in France. So that might give you a hint as to why there's so much here on reproductive rights, and then a bunch of other things that I'm just extremely interested in part because they are research topics that interest me in terms of research, but also teaching topics. I teach on a wide range of issues, and I'm always, keeping up with what's new on the field and what I might have missed in the field. I'm always happy to take recommendations on any of these topics, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.